Film School Slacker contains adult language and themes. Listener discretion is advised.
Hello and welcome to Film School Slacker, the podcast where I go through my ever-growing watch list of movies, and with me is my friend Megan.
That's me.
And I'm Ian.
You are Ian.
I am. And this week we're looking at one that I know it's weird that I haven't seen, actually, because I've seen a lot of the other stuff. Actually, no. I actually haven't seen as many Mel Brooks movies as... it's Robin Hood Men in Tights, by the way. Yeah. And I've only seen Young Frankenstein and Spaceballs. I don't think I've seen anything else he's done.
Really?
Yeah.
No Blazing Saddles? No silent movie?
No.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Okay, now that you've listed those, now I have to see if they're on the list, because we haven't done points in a while.
That's true.
Let's look here.
Oh, Aaron brought up a movie.
Are we going to give him points?
I can't remember what it is. So,
well, yeah, we'll go. You start talking about the movie, and I will.
Yeah. So, Robin Hood Men in Tights from 1993, rated PG-13, 1 hour 44 minutes. Starring Cary Elwes, Richard Lewis, Roger Rees, Amy Yazbek, Mark Blankfield, Dave Chappelle, among others. Directed by Mel Brooks. Written by J.D. Shapiro, story screenplay by J.D. Shapiro,
okay.
Evan Chandler, and Mel Brooks.
Nice.
Can we just talk about how delightful Mel Brooks is as a human?
I agree. Oh, also you get 2 points because Blazing Saddles and Silent Movie were not on the list.
Dang.
Did he do The Naked Gun?
No,
who did that?
That was someone else.
Okay. It felt like the kind of movie he would do.
The Producers?
No.
Not the musical?
No.
Oh, that's so good.
Let me see if that's on the list, because then you might get 3 points, and that might be some sort of record.
Good Lord. But, yeah.
Not on the list. 3 points for Megan.
I win everything.
Amazing.
That's actually not true. I don't win a lot of things. Who did Naked Gun?
I'm drinking coffee, and I realized I probably shouldn't just drink it directly in my mouth.
Just give the people their mouth sounds.
Ugh.
David Zucker.
Oh, that's the guy who did Airplane. Yeah. Okay, that's on my. That should be on my list too, because I know that's like Leslie Nielsen and stuff, right? Yeah,
that's Leslie Nielsen. There's Naked Gun, The Naked Gun 2.5, and then 33 1/3. Oh,
God damn it. Because Airplane, the first Airplane movie, I have not seen the second one.
There's
that
two?
one, I think there's a second one. Yeah,
gross.
Yeah, but the first one is just, for me, I don't know. It's probably, I haven't seen it in a long time. It's probably really problematic now. I haven't looked, but
it's got O.J. Simpson in it.
No, it doesn't. It's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Which one?
The first Airplane movie.
Oh, Airplane. I thought we were talking Naked Gun.
Sorry, no. Does it, though?
It does.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Well, moral of the story, Airplane has Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who, to my knowledge, is not problematic.
Yeah, no, he's apparently a very nice human.
Pretty chill. And that also was Robert Stack and Leslie Nielsen.
Not a murderer.
Not a murderer. The glove did not fit. It's fine.
Honestly, don't get me started on OJ.
Yeah.
I will true crime your ass off.
Look, we wouldn't be friends if I wasn't okay with that.
True. Yeah.
Okay. Well, all that being said, I guess the thing is I know very little about Robin Hood Men in Tights, other than it's Mel Brooks and Cary Elwes is in it.
Yeah.
And Dave Chappelle was in it. I didn't actually know that as well. But I don't know, I just assume it's just a Mel Brooks romp with Robin Hood.
Yep.
I don't know anything else, so...
That's kind of all you need to know, because it kind of follows the same formula as, like, Spaceballs and...
it's a
what's
classic
the other
Mel Brooks
parody
energy.
movie he did?
There's
Blazing Saddles.
Young Frankenstein. Young Frankenstein's a little different.
Young Frankenstein's a little different, but it does...
Young Frankenstein is my favorite Mel Brooks movie as of right now.
So good.
Yeah.
And the musical is fantastic. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's definitely follows the formula. It's
the
just kind
formula.
of just kind of a romp through
right and
through
known,
this particular genre that he
right.
decided to spoof
and then it just does its thing,
and it's
you
just delightful.
Okay, I love it.
I will say a lot of festies watch this pre-fest just because
they do.
It's
It gets you in the mood.
It gets you in the mood.
Yeah.
I am guilty of that as well because
you're just guilty of being a festie.
I mean, yes, I am. I will.
Your secret has been revealed.
I'll plead guilty to that. But yeah, it's fun. I enjoy it. I think you'll find parts of it good and
all right.
probably have some stuff to talk about.
I'm sure we will. Excellent. All right. Well, let us roll the tape.
Roll the tape.
Call the locksmith.
Call the locksmith. Call the locksmith.
I mean, it was exactly what I was expecting. So there's that. Like, we said before, it's like a Mel Brooks romp through a specific genre. Mm-hmm. And
that's exactly what it was.
It's exactly that. In a shock to no one, Mel Brooks plays a rabbi, and that's the movie. And that's Cats.
And Carrie Elwes swashbuckles some swashes, and a slightly more sarcastic version of Wesley.
Yeah,
and
only slightly though, because
only
Wesley
slightly.
is also pretty.
He's pretty sarcastic.
Yeah. The thing that's tough about covering Mel Brooks movies on this podcast specifically is that I'm not sure what there is to say, because you know what I mean, it's not looking for a critique because it kind of defies that.
It's a spoof.
Yeah.
It's a bit.
It's a bit.
It's a comedy. It doesn't give a shit what you think.
Right. Which, is like, oh, okay, fair enough. And that being said, it's still I enjoyed the kind of cheapness of the sets. It was a vibe.
It was a lot of plywood.
Right. It was, that was
villager houses.
Yep, painted plywood. The fact that the entire castle facade could just move.
Oh yeah.
There's just no. It was something that way.
Yes.
I think I'm just gonna go into my notes,
I
think that'll get us moving. The flaming arrow. So this is multiple times, and I call this out later in my notes. Multiple times, I'm like, this is a funny bit, and then they call out the bit in dialogue.
Yeah,
that happened several times throughout the whole thing. So I'm just like, I love the flaming arrow effect in the opening credits, and then I'm like, and the score is kind of fun, and then they're just like, oh, and then they reference the credits in the opening dialogue with the. Leave us alone, Mel Brooks.
Every time they make a Robin Hood movie, they burn our village down. This was supposed to be spoofing Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, which was a big budget production of Robin Hood with Alan Rickman as the sheriff of Nottingham, and Kevin Costner as American Robin Hood. Because he couldn't speak with a British accent.
That's so funny.
And then Sean Connery as King Richard and others. I don't think I've ever actually seen that one.
I don't know. Maybe we should. Put it on
I've seen part of it.
I'm gonna put it on the list because
why not?
Why not?
We'll be able to point at the bits that were spoofed.
Yeah, The Prince of Thieves, 1991. Oh, that wasn't even that long beforehand.
Right. Yeah.
And then they jump immediately into the 1994 Nice Clean Rap. That was fun.
Yes.
Which is weird. I don't know. There was. I'm gonna call this out early because there were two things in this movie. Because I generally think it holds up pretty well. Because it's not. It's a farce. It's weird.
It's meant to be. Out there and kind of
zany. Yeah. I think the two things that I found to be okay, let's keep moving. Was there was a lot of heavily race-based comedy, and there was a fair bit of heavy fat shaming kind of comedy.
Yeah,
those two things were okay. I mean,
that was the part where I was okay, we can be done with making Brunhilde the butt of the fatty fall down, go boom jokes,
right? And then you could have left the race stuff kind of understated and it would have worked, but it's not in Mel Brooks's best interest to play anything subtle,
right?
So like it just is what it is, and it's like anytime there's a chance to call something out, like he will. So it is what it is. I don't think it's best way to describe this. It's not in bad blood. It's not out of malice.
It's not punching down. It's just sort of like.
It's just sort of like, okay, we get it. And then like just like there's a lot of like there was some sort of, and you called out one of them, but like there's a fair at the beginning. There was a fair amount of just sort of like, okay, this is sort of anti-Arabic or
because when they get to the beach, there's 3 guys dressed as jockeys on camels,
and it's like, okay,
and that's
it's just
that's a little grab your collar
and kind of it's, and just like the way that they play out the sequence in the prison, like it just feels like it's playing to the lowest denominator of the stereotype, which is the point of the comedy. Like I don't think that there was doing it with malice.
They could have gone lower.
They could have gone lower, and I think that especially for the time, I think it was probably fairly tame.
Yeah,
but it was just one of those things where it was like, okay, yeah, got it.
All right, we got it. Okay, move along.
Yeah, moving along here. I do love the middle fingers through the bars.
That's
funny. Pretty good. The tongue effect where they like the tongue thing.
Yeah,
that made me uncomfy.
It was like gum or silly putty or something.
Yeah,
and you could tell it wasn't a real tongue, but it was still just like, ugh.
Yeah.
I don't think it's supposed to stretch that far.
Right. Yeah, at the beginning especially, I was really struggling to see Carrie Elwes as anything but Wesley. Like, and the problem with this role is it's so close to being that role that it's like, it's like, literally, like he starts walking. I'm like, does he swim? Does he swim there? And you're like,
swim all the way from Jerusalem to England? I don't think that's possible.
And then he gets there, and there's just like England stuck to the side
letters.
of the side of Southern California.
Yeah,
like
totally not the coast of Southern California.
He gets back. I'm just like, this is Dread Pirate Roberts energy.
Absolutely.
And obviously, it's the other way around in terms of referencing, but the whole thing made me want to watch Gallivant.
Yes.
Like really bad. Like I was like, oh, this is Gallivant. It's
definitely got Gallivant.
Like Gallivant took the things that I always feel like the Mel Brooks farce is sort of like the blueprint of all the ways you could go on a farce.
Yeah.
And then most other farces will downplay a lot of things because the Mel Brooks one just upplays everything.
Yeah.
And so like in terms of like Gallivant, like a lot of the character interpersonal relationships and stuff are played a lot more like legit.
Yeah.
Like played a lot more straight. Yeah. And then there's lots of bits, a lot of the surrounding peripheral bits in Gallivant feel a lot like this movie.
Yeah.
So you could tell kind of the areas they kind of grabbed in, or you'd get like some group of goofy misfits, like, you know, like the pirates who the Lords of the Sea, who are technically next to the sea, like stuff like that is very Mel Brooks, but like the relationship between the main characters is a lot more straight. So yeah, it was just it was interesting to watch other things kind of glom onto what Men in Tights did. My Kingdom for a Horse.
That's actually from Richard III,
Classic.
which is Shakespeare.
Classic.
Fancy. My Kingdom for a Horse.
The castle facade on wheels is so Renfest. That was like, I was like, this is the most Renfest thing I've ever seen in my damn life.
Very, very Renfest. Like I would not be surprised if it was, you know, plywood that they, you know, foamed.
Right.
And then carved the foam.
100%. That was the vibe I got.
That's not a lot of what Renfest buildings are.
It's amazing and I love it.
Oh yeah.
I loved Blind Playboy. That was funny.
Yeah.
Just
that's
like
textured.
I don't know why, but Blinken was serving kind of like a Ringo Starr energy.
I think it's the round glasses
and just kind of the beard.
The hair and beard. Yeah,
just kind of walking around. It was great.
Also, I want to call out that Blinken, you can find him in any scene and like he's just in it. He is just doing his own thing.
That's so funny.
Very committed to the bit.
Right.
Like in the when they're at the castle in the fight scene, he's just like he, serves Robin his ale and then like just uses his sword to just kind of wave it around and
he's doing
walk away.
Something completely random, but he's always there.
I enjoy watching Blinken in this movie.
I think that's one of the other things about Mel Brooks movies in general is the density of stuff is actually really high.
Oh yeah,
because there was like
I was noticing new stuff. That I've watched this movie a lot.
Yeah,
and I was still noticing like new bits or new gags that I've never
seen.
Never noticed.
That's I think a fun part about this podcast in a way, because when I've watched it, we've done a flip the script and it's a movie that I've seen but you haven't.
Yeah.
I have noticed new things because I'm looking at it from a totally different lens. That's funny. Yeah. When we were talking and Allie was sitting on the couch with us while we were watching, and she was like, "Do you think this was on purpose? Like something that they did was on purpose?" And we're like, "Yes,
absolutely."
Everything, and that's like part of that density. It's like even if you think it looks like a mistake, it's absolutely something that they did on purpose to add to the just full
zaniness.
Cacophony of insanity that is any of these movies. And let's see. So a Jew out here.
No, a Jew.
It's like classic.
A Jew.
A Jew in this country?
Yeah. Well, England famously ran out a lot of Jews. Like York specifically in the 1100s.
Oh no.
Clifford's Tower. The super steep hill with the little tower on top. The townspeople of York rounded up all the Jews in town, put them in there, and then set the building on fire.
No.
So not the best.
Not a great
history.
Track record.
Not a very accepting place.
Bit
medieval
of a downer.
England, yeah.
And even modern England, let's be honest.
And even modern everywhere.
Truly.
We need to stop sucking, people.
We really do.
Can we stop?
We just, for like a minute, just like stop sucking. Can we just agree?
For the next 50 years, can we not suck?
It would really help me out. Thank you.
Just be really nice. It's the last, chunk of my life.
Yep. Looks like a runaway white boy. Screaming.
And then he screams at the camera and runs away again.
Just like
at the
that's
end of
the
that
only
sequence.
way he can. I feel like that bit has been used by other people later.
Yeah.
Like the idea of, even though like everything's been resolved and it's done, like you have to scream. And yeah, I just
that's your exit.
Right.
That's how you get out of the scene.
Only way that you can get in or out. Like it's what a strange young man.
What a strange young man.
Yeah. And then the freaking mind the big rocks. Like that's like the
kazoos that they've got.
I mean, I think everyone has to
It's a little Kronk doing his own theme music.
It's something, but it's a little bit between Kronk's theme music and Monty Python.
Yes.
A little bit of that kind of
bit of that
blended together
with the
for
coconuts.
Yes. Yep. Exactly. So Megan can attest to this. The introduction to Maid Marian, where she's in the tub and the camera crashes through the window, I actually just kind of lost it.
We had to pause the movie
because
Ian was losing his mind laughing.
Wholly unprepared.
It was
to lose
so
it
funny.
that badly. I don't know why, but it's not the like fourth wall breaks are not anything special for me. Like it can be funny and it's to good effect, but when they do something where the camera itself interacts, I frequently, those will get me in a way that I'm not expecting.
I think it's because you're usually behind the camera,
probably,
and you would be like, that would be like,
and I think the other thing too is
a way to bring you into
the thing. Well, and I think too, you're used to like. It's one of those things that reminds you of the medium. Yeah. Because like, the whole idea of film is like the camera is in a weird spot. Yeah. And the camera cannot be like, and everyone just has to ignore it. Like you have to ignore the fact that like there is no way that angle makes sense.
Right.
And so the idea that they kind of address that where somebody like bumps into it or it crashes through something, like that is such a funny like admission to like the bizarre nature of filmmaking
like,
in general.
yeah, this is weird and we know it's weird.
Yeah. Like,
and we're going to point out that it's
weird and just show it. And the fact that they turned around and showed the lens crashing through was, I think, one of my, it was just, it tickled me in a way that I was fully not expecting, because as the camera was
also,
approaching
like,
the scene,
also it's like she's singing in a bathtub, presumably naked. She's singing, you know, about this, where's the love of my life, and then just off screen you hear just the crash. And then you look and there's the camera and she, you know, cuts back to her and she just kind of like shakes it off and keeps singing.
Like just doesn't even acknowledge that there's this giant cinema lens that just crashed through her
like,
stained glass window. It was
just
that might have, this is terrible, but that might have been my favorite part of the whole goddamn movie, because it's
a good part.
It just was, I got real good with that scene. The
fun fact about that I shared with you all during the screening, that was actually a reference to Psycho from 1960.
Yes.
Because in the beginning of that movie, there's the camera movement that seems to go through a closed window.
Yes.
And Mel Brooks spoofed that in High Anxiety in 1977.
Okay.
And then did it again here. So
I kind of want to, I feel like we should watch High Anxiety. That would be fun to do, like a Hitchcock,
the Alfred Hitchcock spoof.
That'd be fun to see. Key to My Heart. That's good. The now Everlast. What is that brand mostly known for? Because I
feel like it's locks.
Is that just what it was? Just a lock company?
I think so.
I'm gonna look this up now because I'm
Google
curious.
It. Locks are like safes.
Yeah.
Maybe? Which
it's like gym equipment. No, seriously, it's like a boxing brand. So I don't really know why.
Weird.
Let me see why that's. I just don't
that
understand.
Hasn't always been, or maybe it has.
Maybe it has. I'm not
Or maybe
sure.
it's a joke about it takes a beating. You know, like a vagina.
Let me look and see why this is.
Okay.
I need to do like a little bit of understanding as to why.
And I like when movies do this, when they make you like do a little bit of side research,
right, to
figure out, you know, what's going on. But that's just my weird ADHD neurodivergent brain. That's
right.
I just like to know all the things.
Yeah, basically people don't know. Fans are introduced when she gets looking beyond the fact that the belt's made by Everlast. The belt functionality seems to be confusing, which is also true. That was actually a thought that I had that I didn't write down, which was
what the fuck? Chastity belts?
Well, yes, but also like how do you utilize like those components are still required for your daily life.
Yeah.
And there was no obvious way.
There's no way to
access them.
So the history of chastity belts, a little bit, mostly.
I'm so glad that you can provide
like
some additional info.
I like to side research. So usually chastity belts were to prevent like you would put it on before you went out in public. To prevent, you know, sexual assault. They were more a preventative measure, or like if someone at an asylum was like masturbating too much, they'd put it on and take care of that problem. So they weren't meant for prolonged wear.
I see. That makes sense.
But they were a thing historically.
Okay. Okay.
Again, just to, you know,
in this day and age, they might need to make a comeback.
To tamp down. Actually, there is I want to say somewhere in Africa, a woman invented something that goes into the vagina. Oh. That's like, it has spikes inside of it.
You know, I feel like I've heard about this.
So that if a woman gets, you know, or if
assaulted,
a man rapes a woman, the spikes are like pointed inward. Yeah. So the only way to take it off is to go to the hospital, or you lose your penis.
Right.
And I think those need to be everywhere.
I just can't believe that they have to that you let like
I can't believe they have to exist either.
In a world where a woman has to booby trap her own vulva is not a good thing.
Yeah. Hey, men, stop raping women.
Hot takes here at
Hot
the Film
takes.
School Slacker.
You are not entitled to pussy.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, Dad.
Yeah. Hey, Mike. I didn't know that you listen to this podcast, and I'm glad you are. But now I know.
We're glad you're here.
We're glad you're here.
Anyway.
Boogie boarding. So, oh God. Okay, so
Anyway.
there was a lot of snort laughing in this film, which I thought was funny. Like, it was clearly like a bit. Like they made it like an ongoing bit because multiple characters did it. Latrine was definitely serving Xanax energy from Gallivant. Like, it was a very similar kind of like at the beginning. Later it changed, but like at the beginning, like she was very like, I don't know, we're doing what up. Like, it was just very like all over the place. And
like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just
I said, I'm navigator. Like,
you came to me for advice. I'm just your cook.
Right.
I don't. If you want advice, get a witch.
I love that.
Even though she's stereotypically like a witch.
The
Also,
witch.
Tracy Ullman.
Just so
hilarious.
Funny. So funny.
Just never stop. Never stopping.
Never stop. Looks like a satyr at Vincent Price's house. I don't even know like why it looks like that, but anyway, like
because it had like eyeballs and
but like why
eggshells.
Vincent Price's house?
Because Vincent Price was a horror film actor.
Horror film actor, I guess. Yeah, fair enough.
Did you say horror film?
For him, is that what I said?
did.
I'll have to listen to that back later.
That's funny.
For him. Yeah. Oh, she's got a cutout of the sheriff of not. There's just like
Absolutely.
a Roger Reese cutout in the middle. So funny.
Can I borrow it?
Can I buy? Did you know he died in like 2015? Roger Reese did.
I looked that up and I thought he died in like 20. I thought he died this year.
Was it this year?
Give me a second. Oh no, that was Blinken.
That was Blinken.
Let me see.
Yeah, because I remember now, like, because I was like, where is he from? And then he was from I remember him from the Pink Panther.
Oh yeah, 2015.
Yeah, he had like brain cancer or something.
Ooh,
kind of gross.
Yeah, he had. I know him from West Wing.
Oh right,
he was
right.
Lord John Marbury, who always called Leo Gerald.
He just always plays that character. He's just
a little over the top,
right? And I love that. Yeah,
very British.
Very British. Yes, amazing. Let's see. So, so the Tiny Creek toll thing is once again one of those peripheral elements in Gallivant where they have the giants and the dwarves and they're all the same height and they're like mad because of the bridge crossing over a gully that they can walk over anyway. It's like the same kind of nonsensical situation. Like they have that same kind of lineup going on, which again is one of those things where I'm like, it's one of my problems with this podcast is you're always going to hear me referring to newer stuff because that's the stuff that I've already seen. Yeah. So I'm like, obviously it's the other way around, and like they probably were influenced by this, but this is what I remember.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, like called out Kevin Costner very hard.
Oh yeah.
Which is why I need to see Prince of Thieves because I feel like that's
so in different dubs of the movie, obviously the German and the French don't have English accents.
Right.
So they changed the line to, I think one of them was, but unlike some other Robin Hoods, I don't dance with wolves. Or
so they just go straight out.
They just go straight for the jugular.
They find other Kevin Costner references to just call him out specifically.
And there was another one that was like, I don't cost the studio $5 million or something like that.
Oh my god.
Like, there you go.
Wow, they just didn't hold back on that one. I love that they most of these are just bits that I like was tickled by. Hitting the chandelier thing, and it hits down the chandelier on him instead of them.
The wrong one.
Yep. Always, you just never know. There's so many of those little ropes all tied up separately. Let's see. So, that was around the time I discovered that the mole was moving.
Yeah.
I was just kind of going, wait, is this mole a different spot? And within a few minutes, they had already called it out. Like, by the time I started to notice the problem, Mel Brooks couldn't be like, we'll just leave that and let you learn that. No, we have to talk about it.
Yep.
I'm like, okay, all right, here we go.
It's very... Wasn't your hump on the other side?
Right. What hump?
What hump?
Okay, I need to see that movie.
It's very
again. It's
Igor.
been so long. Igor.
It's pronounced Igor. God, that's such a good movie.
Oh, it's such a good movie.
They do the walk this way in this one.
They do.
In this one too. It's
They
very
do.
self-referential, which, when you're Mel Brooks, how do you not?
Right. Blink and no. I think that's when he was like whacking at the
Oh yeah. The ladder.
The fucking exit sign. Like, someone had to put the effort in to put that exit. Unless they shot in like a retail space, which I don't think they did. They literally went and found an exit sign and had
put
to
it up
put
there and
in
lit
the
it
set. Yeah.
in the shot.
It's so much work, and it's such a dumb gag, because that is actually a good one where they didn't acknowledge it really. Like, there wasn't like any line that talked about it directly.
Yeah.
And so there's a couple of those where it breaks the
visual gag.
Yeah, anytime that the visual gag breaks the world narrative, they typically don't talk about it.
Yeah.
Like, the characters do sort of ignore those, like the camera coming in, like she looks at it, doesn't say anything, or when he stabs a skewer's like bagel, yeah, like stuff like that. They kind of Broomhilda just like cock blocking the whole time, or even kiss blocking. She blocked an air kiss.
She did.
And like, Broomhilda, my dude.
She is very concerned with Maid Marian's virginity and sex life or lack thereof.
Goodness sakes. I think she's projecting.
Well, I think, because she says at the end, you must go before you do it, you must go through it, or else I blew it.
Right.
So I think like she was sort of somebody. Yeah, she was sort of, installed as the protector of Maid Marian's virginity, because that was super important back in the day.
Right.
Even sometimes today, even though that's gross and virginity is a concept. Sorry. I will not get off my feminist high horse. I'm sorry. It's not going to happen.
No, that's that. Nor would I ask you to.
Thank you. This is why we're friends.
Right. Lend me your ears. No, thank you. No,
everyone
thank you to any.
Pops an ear off and throws it at him.
That is so gross.
I swear to God, I showed you that.
Maybe you did.
I can't remember why or what context.
Maybe it was a GIF, and you like sent it as like lend me, and you like maybe you like sent it as a GIF, and then I was like, what the fuck is that?
What the fuck is this? And then then I sent you the clip.
Right.
Something like that. I don't know.
That might be what have happened.
I sent the clip to someone recently, and I guarantee it was you.
Can confirm. Channels Malcolm X. It's those moments where I'm like, it's all right, I guess. It's.
We didn't land on Sherwood Forest. Sherwood Forest landed on us. We didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on us. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yep.
Moving on.
Prepare for the training montage. It's always good. And again, that's another Gallivant thing where they do the we got to the part of the story where the rock music background thing. It's the same. Feels like they're kind of channeling the same kind of thing there, where it's self-aware. He comes back from doing the thing and he feeds them like cocktail fruit or whatever. He's like, good boy.
Just gives them a little treat.
Like actual himbo. Achu has his snapback.
Yep.
Because he can't wear the
baseball backwards Robin Hood hat. Baseball with
and
the snapback.
They clearly had to build it differently so they could do it, because it's like
for
totally
sure.
Like the geometry is entirely different.
Yeah.
And I said this already, but every time I start noticing an ongoing visual gag, it gets called out every time.
Every damn time.
Stares into the camera. I was that close.
I touched it.
Oh my
I love that
God.
that whole scene was just improvised by Tracy Ullman and Roger Rees.
It was just like crashes in. It is funny though.
I have a
Trebuchet.
headache.
Like,
I have a headache.
I have a headache.
Oh, bugger.
Fuck.
What's this?
It's clouds. Just
I touched it. Jesus.
and the fact that like even that line, like she just like looked into the camera and said that. I'm like, I wish I had that level of just unhingedness in my life.
And that's just like, I don't know, that just kind of puts you on her side a little
It
bit.
does.
It's just like,
well, because also the sheriff of Rottingham fucking sucks. Like
he's kind of gross.
He's the worst.
He's the worst.
And like I don't know, he like serves kind of Jafar energy, and like
yeah, like
you know,
like an incompetent Jafar.
right, fair.
Jafar was
Actually pretty competent.
yeah.
He had a grand
whole,
vision, and
he had a
was
whole ass plan.
trying to execute his plan. Yeah. That's so funny. Loxy and Bagel.
Loxley and Bagel.
That was just I was waiting for the bit. Like you could tell the last names were specific in a weird way.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you guys did this to set up an entire joke. Like, there was
did.
one
Did.
liner joke, and you would set up these last names just to do the bit, and I have respect
I
for
think
that.
Bagel was the only one that was actually set up. I think it actually is Robin of Loxley.
Is it Robin of Loxley?
Yeah.
Oh.
But then, you know,
I need
it
to
obviously had to be
yes.
his partner had to be Bagel. Bagels
yeah.
and locks.
Genre hero like outlaw
was gonna
depicted
say-
in English folklore.
Yeah, it was like he was like
was
a folk hero, maybe a composite of a couple real people, or
He was a skill archer and swordsman. Some stories he was depicted of noble birth, and some said he had been fought in the crusade to find his lands taken by the sheriff. Traditionally depicted dressed in Lincoln green. He's known for-
Lincoln green?
Lincoln. I'm looking this up.
Blinken green.
Lincoln green is the color of dyed woolen cloth formerly originating in Lincoln, England, a major cloth town during the High Middle Ages.
Did you say Abe Lincoln?
Abe Lincoln.
Why would I say Abe Lincoln? No, I said Hey Blinken.
The dyers of Lincoln, known for their coloring wool with woad to give it a strong blue shade.
Yeah.
Created the eponymous. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Lincoln green by overdying this blue wool with yellow weld or dyer's broom. So there's like a very specific.
It's probably like a darkish.
Yeah. Robin Hood and his merry men of Sherwood Forest.
Oh, merry man.
Oh, merry man.
Da, 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 da.
The number of people that have betrayed
Good Lord. Robin Hood.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
It's a lot.
I mean, it's a pretty
pretty
ubiquitous story.
Yeah. I think everyone knows the idea of Robin Hood and has seen at least one version of it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, pretty wild. The Godfather bit where he actually pulls out the cotton balls.
Don Giovanni.
Don Giovanni. And he's like, I can't hear a word you're
Don
saying.
Giovanni.
Just pulls out the fucking...
Oh, sorry. Came from the dentist. Forgot to take out the cotton balls. All the way from Jersey.
Jersey. So ridiculous.
Which is funny because there is a Jersey in England.
Yeah.
Just...
Like they did the research. It's just so stupid, and I love it. And it's the fact
I will
that
take these cotton balls from you with my hands, and I will put them in my pocket.
And frankly, I feel like
It's very Fredo. Fredo?
Yeah.
Was that the right? I don't know. I've only ever seen the first Godfather.
I mean, well, no, I've seen the second one too, but I don't know. Like, it's one of those movies where I'm like, this is well done. I don't really care.
Yeah, same.
Like, it's just, and it's long.
And
I don't
also
know.
don't really care about mob
I don't really
movies,
either.
which is funny because I like The Sopranos, but again, that was more because of the acting.
Acting and story stuff and not the
not
no,
really, not
just
even
the
so
acting.
much the story stuff. It's just the acting is fucking hypnotic.
You watch
And the characters.
yeah,
Like,
The
I don't really
so the
care
char-
what happens to them.
right. But the character writing and portrayal
Yeah.
is good. Did you ever watch McMillions?
Yeah.
Oh, it was so good.
Oh, that's such a good documentary.
Oh my god! It just every single person in that documentary feels like a character that was
Gold
written.
lame suit.
Oh my god! I just
That guy.
he was something, and I enjoyed the whole thing.
Fucking love it.
He and the McDonald's lady
Yeah.
fucked.
Oh, they totally.
They had to have fucked.
There are some private messages, and And then I guarantee they reconnected during McMillions, and then they just
100%. Because he's divorced. Like, there's no way he's married to anybody.
He's totally divorced.
Yeah, he looks like he'd be impossible to be married to.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Anyway, sorry. This is a
McMillions
episode.
They ruined a business class hotel room in
100%.
in Florida somewhere.
Oh yeah, they had to just burn it to the ground.
They just no longer use that room at the Holiday Inn Express by the airport.
Room whatever it is by
room 217.
Yeah, thank you.
The Shining.
The Shining, yeah. Thank you for understanding exactly where my brain was going.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh, the clapper. That was
candles.
And the candles come on.
Jesus.
It's so dumb. And also like probably took some effort.
Oh yeah.
Like how did they just do that?
I bet they were gas candles that they
it's just stuck underneath. Yeah. But like that's a lot of work.
It's
a fair amount of work. It's just I enjoyed that. Oh, and then we finally got to were men in tights.
Men in tights.
To me it's tights. It felt like the 1994 version of sitting 5 feet apart because they're not gay. Like that was the energy I got from that entire song, which was obviously on purpose.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, it was just funny. Like, and again, it's one of those bits where because it's Mel Brooks, he's not going to leave it alone.
No,
he's going to like turn the camera back literally
double
on
down.
it. Yeah, exactly. It's not going to be like just like they're kind of sensitive about it and underplay the joke. It's gonna be an entire fucking musical number and beat it to death, which is funny.
Which I mean, when Rabbi Tuckman is introduced,
yes,
he's like, "You guys gay?"
It's like,
no,
just marry.
We're straight. Just
we're sitting 5 feet apart.
Yeah, sitting 5 feet apart because we're not gay.
That's so funny. And that at this point, I was like, the Broomhilda fat jokes are getting really old.
Yeah,
that was when I started to kind of
really
lose
done with that.
Yeah, like it was, and again, it's one of those things where you could have just like done a bit and then been over with it.
Yeah,
but like it just kept getting doubled down on, and that one got kind of exhausting.
Like at the end of the movie, it's kind of implied that Little John is a little bit sweet on her.
Yeah,
like why would he be
secretly sweet?
Well, or why would he be like, you can get off me because you're so heavy?
Well, and
unless I'm misreading the ending.
No, I don't think you're misreading the ending. I just think that the you can get off me thing was
I kind of wonder if that scene had played different, like if he had leaned into it and was like, is there anything I can do for you?
Right.
And then he was like, yeah, you can come here. And like, if that,
yeah.
And then Robin has to be like,
right.
Like, dude,
right.
Come on.
No, it was a bit where there was like, they had like kind of a spark, but he had to make a fat joke because that was the bit.
Yeah.
Like that was what it felt like to me.
Yeah.
That was what it felt like they did. Like it was, yeah.
If I had to rewrite that scene
I would
Little
totally,
John would fucking,
yeah,
they would be just making out.
Right. There would be
for like
some
a solid
absurd
minute.
tension. Yeah. Yeah, because it definitely felt like it was a mean-spirited joke, and then they like kind of at the end implied that it was like that he was kind of into it actually. Yeah. I don't know. It was again. It was like it was just playing the fat joke for the fat joke, and I was sick of it. I was frankly sick of it. I tell you. All these musical numbers are so unhinged. Like I was not, because then they had their little like romantic, like singing in the
Robert Goulet ballad.
Yeah, oh
thing.
my god!
Even though it wasn't Robert Goulet, but
I do think that one of the
baritone,
the thing that got me, I thought was my favorite part about all that is like, you and I have both acted, right? And have you had to do a song where you sang at somebody? Have you had to do that before?
No.
Okay.
Because I was never a lead. I'm not bitter about it at all.
Oh God. Okay.
Actually, I'm not.
No, it's honestly.
But yeah,
kind of overrated.
I can understand where like
that was. So I remember it was in Honk. Mars Star and I. Yeah. Had, because Mars was playing my mother.
Yeah, Mars was your mama.
And we had to do at least one song where we sang at each other.
Yeah.
And it is weird. Like,
Yeah.
it is not
It's
a
gotta be
normal
weird.
thing to do. Like,
Yeah.
it feels like, you know, a lot of things in acting is like you're putting on an affectation or
Uh-huh.
you're doing something that's like, you know,
But then you're
odd.
just like staring at
cheating.
somebody.
Right. Like cheating out and other things are weird in stage, but like that is so wrong. Like
Yeah.
it feels, and I already hate making eye contact anyway.
Yeah,
so
same.
it was just a weird thing. But the idea, like in this scene where like he's singing at her and her hair is blowing back, like, because that's
She's
what it
just
feels
like,
like. She's like, I'm so sorry to like basically be screaming into your
Screaming
face.
into your face with
Anyway.
my face.
Yeah, it definitely played into some good. I can see why festies like this movie.
Oh, yeah.
I can see why theater nerds like this movie. Like it plays into a lot of things where you're like, this is true. This isn't even wrong. Because that whole world of theater and whatever, it's more like the absurdity of like performing arts in general.
Yeah.
is funny to me because like a good example I have is 30 Rock. It's an absurdist comedy show,
Yeah.
but it's not as far off as you think it is.
Yeah.
You know, like, yeah, it plays absurd,
accurate.
but it's like not wrong, you
Yeah.
know? I was like, yeah, these musical numbers are insane, but they are apparently diegetic. Like they clearly like take place in the story. Yeah, like woo.
She's just like, where
What
the
is
fuck?
it coming from? It's like some of the merry men just sitting
Yeah.
up, singing along in the
Jesus.
background, like very weird. And then like they're doing the whole thing and they pull the curtain down, and the
Yeah.
whole band of merry men are just like watching.
Yay!
Yeah, it was cute. Twirific.
Terrific.
You when they get the merry men in drag for the
Oh, yeah.
archery scene and the
Blinking, fix your boobs. You're like a Picasso.
You're like a bloody Picasso. No, bleeding
A
Picasso.
bleeding Picasso.
It's so good. It's like installed to one
Just
side.
gotta shove them over.
There was the other thing that I thought was funny about this movie just in general was there was a lot of references to like current pop culture, but current pop culture was 1994.
Yeah.
So like we're talking like there's the references are weird because they didn't age in time.
Yeah.
So there's these references where I'm like, this is a reference to something that was popular 30 years ago.
Yeah.
It's very weird to like.
Did you notice? I think you missed it, but in the beginning, when Achu is getting beaten up by all the guards,
Yeah.
there's a throwaway line that's like, "Man, I hope somebody's getting a video of this."
I did hear it, but like was
It's
like
a Rodney
poli-
King.
Oh fuck.
It was a direct reference to Rodney King.
No. Yeah. Which is so it's just I find it very interesting because I think that was the other part of this that comes off very interestingly now
Yeah.
because of the like a lot of the race-based comedy was like it came from a good place, but it was definitely like a ooh, like it's like making a 9/11 joke kind
Yeah.
of like humor. Like it was just like, oh god, well, you know that's all right.
It
Yeah.
was 30 years ago.
It was 30 years ago. It's fine. Yeah. Oh, speaking of which, the Royal Folio Repository, a depository, like, and just so I'm understanding, that was a reference to the Texas School Book
Yes.
Depository, right?
Yes.
Great.
That was
great.
He was definitely
Lee Harvey
Oswald.
They never made a Grassy Knoll reference, though. That's too bad.
Oh, that would have been.
Did you watch that? Sorry, not to go on like a totally conspiratorial side tangent. I mean, actually, I'm not mad about that at all.
I've
but
already gone on my feminist rant. It's time for a conspiracy.
Time for a conspiracy. If I can tie it back to feminism, we'll see what we can do. No,
Not JFK.
not JFK. Yeah.
There's something there. Anyway,
I'm sure I could Wikipedia game through it. Did you hear I'm sure you have the theory that it was Secret Service?
dude, I'm the one who told you about that.
No, because I watched it with Allie. We watched a documentary about it.
Really?
Maybe we talked about it
There's
separately.
a documentary about it?
Uh-huh.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll have to find it. We watched it.
Well, last podcast on the left proposed, I mean, they weren't the originator
Sure,
of the
of course.
theory,
But they did they
did like 6 whole episodes
Wow.
on Lee Harvey Oswald and JFK. And in like the last episode
Was about that theory.
when was about the Secret Service
Secret
theory.
Service theory. 'Cause
And it tracks.
It's not frankly, like I'm not.
It's almost Occam's razory.
It is.
It's very Occam's razory.
Yeah,
it's very, because like that explains the whole cover up because they didn't want Russia to be like, that was
Right.
German.
That's very sad. No, it's like that's not.
That's very German. But yeah, they didn't want to put on the
right.
Yeah.
No, because I feel like if you in those situations where in most scenarios you would want to see like take to justice to do the whole like it felt very like rushed and confused, and that makes total sense to me. And geometry wise, like the physics of the entire event would make more sense from the car. Like, and you have a young guy who's not ready. Like it was an accident.
Well, and we're not saying that Lee Harvey Oswald didn't shoot, because he did.
Yeah.
But the young guy in the back who was like brand new,
right,
with his brand new gun,
friendly fire moment. Like it makes total sense because it's not about, it doesn't change the ultimate intention, like, because it was still Lee Harvey Oswald who initiated the event,
who started everything.
Right.
If he hadn't been there,
he was one that shot the governor, right?
I think so.
Because the magic bullet like wouldn't have made any sense. It was like that was the problem is with the magic bullet, like you couldn't do what it did without being really weird.
I don't know. I'd have to. I gotta watch this documentary.
Yeah,
now,
I have to. I'll talk to Allie about it.
I just want some confirmation on this.
Yeah.
And like I spent like 30 seconds in Dealey Plaza when I was in Dallas.
Right. You were in Dallas. That's right.
A year and a half ago, or a year ago.
That's so cool.
And like,
I know it's sad, but it's so cool.
It's very quick to drive through.
Sure.
So like, I don't know. I'd have to go back and like actually do the tour, because when I was there, it was way too hot to walk anywhere, and I was kind of on the outskirts of downtown, and it just it was not my favorite trip.
Right. Yeah, so, for all sorts of other reasons.
I mean, yes, for very different reasons. Ask Ellen Marsh.
Wow.
Or Joey Taranto. Ellen and Joey, come on our podcast.
Oh my God, wouldn't that be something? Good, they opened up the salad bar. There's some good lines.
When they're throwing the cabbage.
Right, yeah, just directly at them. And then everyone checks their scripts.
The Mel Brooks checking their scripts.
Is that a pretty common thing for him to do in other...
Did he do it in Spaceballs?
I don't remember now.
They checked the tape in Spaceballs.
Check the tape. That's what it was.
But like that self-referential, like check the
into the story, the meta narrative. Like they kind of break the meta narrative and like do the.
That's a Mel Brooks trait.
Okay. The Patriot era was very grim.
Yeah,
it's a grim bit. Walk this way, saunters vaguely.
Walk this way.
It was that's funny because they all do the same.
Yeah,
same
they
walk.
do the hair flip and then the hippie
hip kind of
hip
the Roger Reese special 12th century
12th century Fox. Now Mickey, take this to the villages.
And then it did the dolphin screech as it ran away. It's just classic.
Funny.
And then they do the wedding, and he knocks the camera again. Goes, oh, sorry. And I'm just a sucker for camera bits, I guess. If the camera gets interacting with the story, there was some other movie that I can't remember now where like it goes in and like bonks somebody on the head, and I can't think of what it is now.
It's probably another Mel Brooks movie.
Well, I'm sure it was a Mel Brooks movie, but there was something
Spaceballs or
something else. Yeah, I don't know. It was because it was less. It was less like they didn't talk about it, like they didn't like acknowledge it, but it was like it kind of bumped into something or did something stupid. I'll have to think about it. The real MVP of this entire movie is the executioner.
Oh yeah,
100%. Like that was just he was just so into it.
He's so into it.
Like,
are you 16 and a half? No noose is good news.
Someone had
he
so much fun.
He enjoys his job so much.
He appreciates his craft, and God, can't we all just aspire to that?
He loves his job. Man,
so
you know,
good.
They say if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life.
That guy, he's into it. I just want to know why he had an eye patch. Like there were some choices with the character, and he had like the little tiny noose hanging from his hat. Like there's just some questions I have about like his life story. You know?
Direct the sequel of
the
Executioner.
Like, hey, we're in this era now for movies where they just keep remaking shit or doing origin stories. It's the origin story no one wanted.
Mel
it's the
Brooks
story,
origins.
Mel Brooks origins. The Executioner. Jesus, coming in 2027.
It's the X-Men origins.
Yes. Well, Patrick Stewart's already there, so
he wasn't in Origins.
You know what I know. I was trying to.
I get.
And also, I've never seen an X-Men movie, so like I'm flying blind here.
We got to get you into it.
We'll have to do a couple of those.
We got it. I'll cherry pick those because
I know they're not all equal. Are
they're
they?
not all great.
Yeah. Thank you, Everlast. Because he did that.
With the jackhammer.
I don't know.
Which
the whole thing.
Did you think that was a reference to how he would have?
Yes.
Made love to. Yeah.
Everything that had to do with her chastity belt was 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like coded.
Sexual.
It was sexual.
Sexually coded.
Was basically like the equivalent of a Bugs Bunny cartoon about sex. Was basically because they could get away with it because of the mechanics of the thing. Which I feel like in 1994 would have been kind of risque.
Yeah. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
I was a year and a half old.
I was
almost 2.
I was maybe a year.
Yeah.
Was it 94?
Yeah. Or 93.
93. Oh, I would have been.
You were.
I was very newly born. I was.
Ugh.
Depends on when in 93, but
that's true.
Yeah, I was a fetus. I also was a big fan of the guy at craft services and got his snack stolen. That was great. That was a good time. Yeah. Because he wasn't in costume. Like, he was just like it was the.
And then like you see the backstage set behind him.
Right. Like it's just like
hey,
100%. They just like the couple of times this movie just fully breaks down the entire story. I also love the very literal way the sheriff gets his comeuppance.
Yeah.
You know, like it's very literal. Like if you look at the reflection of what he was trying to do, like the exact same. It's like if you don't die, you're gonna have to.
He tried to blackmail Marion into marrying him.
Right, and then he gets blackmailed.
And then he gets blackmailed into marrying Latrine.
Latrine. I don't know. She seems fun.
She's a good. Who knows? You could have a lot of fun
with Tracy Ullman.
Yeah. Marriage is built on laughter.
Exactly.
They're fun.
It'll be great.
It's great.
Just don't do anything with her cooking. It looks terrifying.
Yeah, no, she's not a great cook.
No, I don't know why she was hired as a cook.
Say she should probably be fired as
do something
cook.
Different. Yeah, that would not be good.
Did you notice that the pill to save his life
was a lifesaver? Yeah. It's just
fucking brilliant.
The stupidest.
I love it. It's so dumb. It's brilliant.
I know.
It's the failed so hard you win.
I know. Task failed successfully.
Yes.
Yeah, it was very like, oh my god, because like you could have done something. You could have done a pill, but like
or
it was
like
just
a magic spell or something.
It was one more time to just do something stupid and make a bit out of it.
Yep.
It's so dense. These movies are so dense with stupid bits that you just will never be able to find them all. It's so good. Patrick Stewart. I did not know he was in the movie.
I know, and I kept that from you. I will admit to being a bad friend and keeping that secret, lying by omission.
I think that was worth it.
Okay,
it was fine. Yeah,
good.
It was good. No,
it was a good surprise.
I was just like, because the helmet was on, I'm like, wait
a second.
It takes the helmet off. I'm like,
that son of a...
It's
what?
Professor X.
Even though I've never seen any of these movies.
Okay, sorry. Picard, whatever. I don't care. Yeah, that was great. Yeah. That was a good bit. I enjoyed it.
He's a good King Richard.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, like it was sort of like of everyone in the entire movie, like he was sort of like best way to describe this.
We want someone who can give the character some gravitas, but will also has that comedic timing.
Right. Right. He's able to do both.
He can do both.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that was phenomenal.
God, so funny.
A black sheriff.
Why not? We worked in Blazing Saddles.
They just looked directly in the camera.
Again, that's another Mel Brooks self-referential moment.
Yep. The Mel Brookiverse. Brooksiverse.
Mel's Brookiverse.
Mel's Brookiverse. It's like View Askew, but it's Mel Brooks.
Fuck yeah.
Oh man. Okay. Let us review. Oh, and I love that at the end of Mel Brooks movies, he does like, it's such a 80s to 90s thing where you play a little bit of the movie next to everyone's name as at the end credits for the cast. Like in the credits where they'll like play a little bit of that person and like put their it's like this. It's a very 80s and 90s thing, and it gives me nostalgia every time that, especially in a Mel Brooks movie where it's like they do that. It just like it makes me feel like, oh, I'm home. Okay. So, Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Yes. Production and design.
Okay.
Is this our first Mel Brooks movie that we're doing on this?
It is.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, probably won't be the last either by the sounds of it. Production and design. These movies are confoundingly difficult to rate.
Yeah.
Because
so you don't know if it's bad on purpose or if it's just an honest effort that
they had no budget.
Yeah. I can't imagine Mel Brooks didn't have a decent budget, especially in the 90s.
Yeah,
after
like people loved him in the 90s. So
I'm gonna say it was probably meant to look a little hokey, a little Renaissance fairy.
Right. And to be fair, he's a master of his craft in a way where everything was,
because like
purposeful.
when you think about Spaceballs, you know, there's no real crazy impressive sets there either.
Right.
So, you know, maybe like a 3.5, 4.
I think we can give it a 4, and the reason I think we can give it a 4 is because I believe that he fully intended to make it like he was working hard. Like everything was intentional.
Yeah.
So like I can't fault him for that. So I think a 4 is what I'm gonna go with.
All right. That's fair.
Why did it pull up 16 Candles? That is absolutely not what we're talking about right now.
Very different movie.
Very different movie. Okay, so we'll say 4. Story rating.
I mean, it's a pretty classic story of, you know, Robin Hood returns from the Crusades, finds his land stolen, and goes to get it back, vows vengeance on...
That also happens in Gallivant.
The sheriff.
Anyway,
vows vengeance on the sheriff and falls in love with Maid Marian and
it's
wins
not
in the end.
It's not a new Robin Hood story. It's not...
It's a zanier Robin Hood
story. And the dialogue is different.
Yes. They did not go oldie English with this.
But like
I don't think Prince of Thieves really did. I don't know. I've never seen it.
I've never seen it either. That's going to be a double blind.
Yeah.
This is tough because the story is not the point.
Right.
But the writing is still, there was work done because
4.5.
Let's give it a 4. There we go. Performances.
5.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Because
everyone
knew what they were doing.
Everyone knew exactly what they were doing. Again, just find one of the side characters in any
and watch what they're
scene
doing,
and just watch what they're doing, and they are
in it to win it. Cultural impact. I think this is easily a 5.
I mean, sure.
I mean, do you think? I think
it's kind of, again, for like the people I'm friends with.
Right.
It's a 5.
Right.
Like general culturally.
Right.
Not maybe so much because this was kind of towards the end of Mel Brooks's
big run
of popular movies, and then Dracula Dead and Loving It, I think, came after this, and nobody liked that one for some reason. I don't know. I've never seen that one either. I think But again, I think that was just people being tired of the Mel Brooks formula.
Right.
Because they've had it so much for so long. And
I think that's what Taika Waititi is going through now.
Yeah.
Genuinely, like, it's such a specific vibe that, like, you can't just keep making those forever.
Yeah.
And, like, you know, and
enjoy your popularity.
Right,
it's not going to last forever
when you do something that specific. Same with Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Yeah.
Same deal. Very specific vibe. And at some point, people are a bit like, okay.
All right, we're done with it. Can we just... Okay.
Just keep moving. Yeah. Okay. I hear what you're saying, because, like, it's one of those movies that people refer to a lot in my mind.
Yeah.
But it's also, like, kind of specific to the people I hang out with.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I'm still cool with a 5.
I'm thinking, but based
Especially
on, like,
with
based on what
our
we're saying,
friend circle.
I think 4.5 is probably because if we're going based on the greater cultural impact of the world, which is kind of what this one is, I think a 4.5, because we can influence it based on the fact that we know that.
And also, like, could we make this today? Not in the same way, but we also could
do
theoretically.
Yeah.
I mean, spoofs have been around forever.
Right.
And
farce has always been a thing.
Farce is always a thing.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. No, 100%. Okay, so this takes us to 4.4.
It's higher than I was expecting.
Me too. That puts us, between the Da Vinci Code and Pretty in Pink. So Pretty in Pink is, hold on, 4.4.
Okay.
So it's tied with Pretty in Pink.
Gotcha.
And then Da Vinci Code is 4.2.
Huh. Interesting.
That is interesting. Huh.
Oh. All right. Well, tell us what you think, guys.
Yeah,
I guess.
I would love to. Yeah, please engage with us on your thoughts, because frankly, this is one of those, especially when it comes to our cultural impact ratings, we're kind of just putting our thumbs in the air and kind of guessing at like how we perceive that people do it,
right,
or people feel about it. But you know, because like I think that was like,
people like Mel Brooks movies.
They do. Like,
they have
even though
kind of almost universal appeal.
Right? Like people don't just because the formula quit becoming so popular, doesn't mean that the movies themselves don't have a lasting impact on public conscience. And I think that Robin Hood Men in Tights is one of the big ones. Like, between Spaceballs and Robin Hood Men in Tights, I think those are kind of two of his, and Blazing Saddles. Yeah, I think those are kind of
his big 3 genre spoofing movies.
Yeah. Like the
High Anxiety
cultural
is also a different one. It's
in that same Hitchcock one. Yeah. You know. But I think that those are the ones that if you go into like public conscience, like people know about those movies. And so it's kind of like there is a big cultural impact in terms of farces. When people think of a farce film, Mel Brooks kind of had the market cornered for a very long time because no one was really doing it in that way in the popular arena.
Blazing Saddles actually ended the American cowboy movie Western. Because
like there's the stages of a development of a genre, and farce is sort of the end. Yeah,
farce is usually towards the end. Yeah, because I read a thing on, I think it was Tumblr or Reddit or something, that was like, imagine someone making like a spoofy police procedural, right? And or like a police movie, police procedural movie that completely spoofs that entire genre.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
It doesn't really spoof it though. It's a funnier version, but it's not like actively making farce. Fun of cops and all that.
Okay.
So the way
not the way that Mel Brooks,
the way the law enforcement works.
Right.
Yeah. It's not the deconstruction of the genre.
Right. Okay.
It's a very good show. I love it.
It is a good show.
But if there was something that did that, and then just like nobody made police procedurals anymore. Right. That's what Blazing Saddles did.
That's so wild.
Yeah.
That one needs to probably go on the list in the first quarter of 25, because that one I would like to see what it did that changed, that kind of how it defined
How
the
it-
genre. Because like Spaceballs didn't end sci-fi.
No, God, no.
Didn't even end Star Wars.
No.
Far from it.
Far from it.
Do you know who are the main people in Blazing Saddles?
Gene Wilder.
Oh,
Fuck, what's his name? I can't remember. It's Gene Wilder. I believe Madeline Kahn.
okay.
Give me a sec.
Yeah.
Clavon Little. That's his name. Slim Pickens.
Slim Pickens.
Harvey Korman.
Okay.
Madeline Kahn. Mel Brooks. Burton Gilliam. Yeah. So like a lot of, yeah.
Okay.
So
Nice.
that'll be a fun one, especially given the cultural impact of that one. But
Yeah.
we'll get there.
Yeah. Spoilers. All right. Well, awesome. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Ian.
I'm
This is
Megan.
Film School Slacker. We will see you next time.
See ya.
Thank you for listening to Film School Slacker. Our graphic design is by Mitch Ransdell. Music by Ariel Shalom and Ziv Moran. Voiceover audio provided by Mike D and Janet Paoni. Learn more at filmschoolslacker.com.